should go for it. EP, once again, a very aggressive lineup. Let's look at it. Slark, Bounty Hunter, Spirit Break, Brewmaster, they just want... Even Enchantress is a very aggressive jungler, so... Just wanna get up into IG's face.
Prepare for battle. So I play a decent amount of Enchantress and Chen, and I'm looking at the new Mud Golems, and I'm thinking, that's a pretty good gank and creep. Do you think it's on the level of like a Hellbear Smasher and a Dark Troll Summoner, or do you think it's just below that?
I think it's a bit below still. I feel like Versa's still stronger. I haven't played either Enchantress since the change. Still half myself, but either way, Luo TP'd into the bottom lane very immediate. Dropped 2 wards, 1 blocking, finding a lot of it. I guess it's gonna be an offlane.
Yeah. They can't run the Ursa in the offlane, so they even though, like you said, Luo usually runs Evoker safe. In this case, they're going to give him boots first. They're going to give him a Fissure block on the offlane to pull back the creep wave. Going to try to give him the bounty rune and just give him the best start they can, so that they can send the little kid off to school and hope he succeeds and makes a good impression. But we're going to see, just starting off here, we'll look through some introductions here for Energy Pacemaker. You've got the offlane Spirit Breaker, to the mid, Brewmaster played by Old Chicken. That's LT on the Enchantress support, LE on the support Bounty Hunter. Then it's going to be Fan running on his safe lane Slark. So it's going to be kind of an aggro duo between Cheesebug and Lua, it looks like, on the Earthshaker and the Invoker, and it's going to be a Quaz to start. Generally that'll indicate Wex, but it may also just indicate a very passive Exort build.
I think on the offlane you have to go Quest first, no matter what. Just because, you know, you have to expect all the harassment in the world coming your way, so it's good for you. He did give the bounty to Ferrari, who's instantly has his
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
This Spirit Breaker is not gonna have a fun time against. Ursa demolishes pretty much every.
Yeah, he's definitely not going to be last setting whatsoever. He's going to be zoned out pretty hardcore, and Faith, I mean, he can go into the jungle when he wants to. The big deal here is the Magic Bush ward did get covered up on EP's side. They're going to get the bottle out to Brewmaster, but as soon as that very interesting llama makes its bottle delivery, it's got to go back to the sentries, because they need to unlock both the pole camp and that hard camp with the Magic Bush D ward.
Enchantress finds herself Wildkin. Might actually set the Wildkin for the mid lane, just harass Ferrari a bit. Just to give Old Chicken a bit of an edge in the mid lane. Although Brewmaster is also one of these heroes that does really well against melee versus melee. May not actually need it. Never be too sort of thing.
Yeah. Looks like she's going to sacrifice the Wild Wing with its temporary duration here at 15 seconds. She does have the option actually of re-enchanting the creep to make sure that their duration, they don't expire due to duration. We're going to see, however, a charge on mid. Ferrari cannot stun this, but he also doesn't care about it too much. He's going to be backing off to the tower anyways, and just it's pretty clear for IG that Ferrari just need to be back, so he'll be fine getting some good CS under tower. But yeah, this Brewmaster gonna be doing pretty good this game, I think. The Drunken Haze is gonna be probably the highest impact spell you can offer in this between all 10 heroes, just because of how you want to control the Ursa.
Box Hunter, interesting enough, TP'd into. They may want to go for a smoke here with these Enchantress. Although Enchantress doesn't really have a good trade.
She has what is that? I mean, that's a really odd timing to gank. I mean, obviously the Bounty Hunter level 2, that's a nice gank. You can start off by just walking in Invis and Janataing, but ganking with the Wild Wing, it seems really awkward. It almost seems like they have to pick up something from the side while they make their offensive play. But we'll see if she grabs the Satyr or not. For now, she's just looking for a way to pick off Faith by himself.
Faith, though, is in a really good position here. It's pretty difficult to kill at the moment. Smoke is going to expire soon. Expired now.
Odd rotation.
Yeah, very odd rotation, but at the same time, they now relocated themselves aggressively, and I think this position suits them much better than having Bounty Hunter sitting with Slark on the safe lane, because honestly, he doesn't really offer too much. Slark is doing quite well.
Oh, let's see. So charge will come through. Gonna get a double bash onto Faith, actually. That's the first blood. Burning forced out. Not gonna be taking too much damage from the tornado, but still watching his support fall. So in the end, Faith does go forward enough to start zoning, and they're patient enough to make the kill happen. Also kill some time on the Sentry Ward that was placed out. And the longer the line's not utilizing it offensively, the more it's just kind of ticking down and wasting the gold that he put into it. So pretty big deal there. And in the meantime, we're going to see kind of Ferrari covered up pretty nicely between him and Old Chicken. But yeah, even with the renewed Breathe Fire, he still seems to be struggling in this lane. 22-4 versus 16-0.
Yeah, I mean, again, Brewmaster is probably
diving.
They actually kill him.
I think so. I think so, yeah. Get another bash, certainly. That second bash makes it easy peasy, and Browning are just going to invis away. There is going to be a kill on the Dire Courier at the same time. It's picked off in mid. The Brewmaster just smacks that thing down. I'm not sure why Ferrari microed it into the river, or obviously he didn't intend to, but that's how it plays out. He loses the Belt of Strength, and of course EP take a nice hefty sum of gold as the flying courier instead of the ground.
Top tower is under attack.
He just plays super aggressive, punches Lion in the face. This is
oh, Faith! No! This is not your jungle anymore, man. This is definitely the Enchantress, the Bounty Hunters. We're gonna see another rotation. The Earthshaker trying to get involved here, but the Fisher can't set up anything. We see the Thunderclap coming out, Earthshock rather, onto the Spirit Breaker, but in the end they walk away with multiple Spirit Swipe stacks apiece, and the Invis on Brewmaster might allow them to dive again. They just need the Wild Wing to cancel the channel and walk under the tower, honestly, to tank it up.
But at the same time, there's like a huge creep back here. Kind of, Brewmaster, he's just looking for it. He really wants to stomp this.
Structures are fortified.
Just retreats, and honestly, this movement from AP is really smart. Establishing themselves in the jungle. I mean, yeah, the first, like, when they first rotated, it looked kind of awkward because it was a Wildkin, it was very far away, and they didn't really have to initiate, but now they just, you know, make sure that Burning doesn't get any farm whatsoever, and then
yeah, Lu's not doing too hot down bottom either, unfortunately. In this off-lane role, he goes for the Quaz Wex, so he doesn't have that much last hitting presence, and although he does get the phase boots early, as it is a cheaper item overall, it's still the Slark to be winning out heavily on last hits. In fact, he is right now going to get a gank along with the Bounty Hunter, and it's got to be the disables from Lua that keeps him alive. But for now, a Janata and a Pounce should be bringing him pretty low, and of course the Dark Pack can dispel that tornado while it's in effect.
Coach coming in. Oh. They missed that timing, yeah, and Bounty Hunters. Lua should have seen it.
Yeah, he definitely did. There's no way he didn't. The creeps could even see it, so Lua should just be able to back off here, and he now is all the wiser to this tough situation. But that leaves space up top. I mean, anytime that the Bounty, the Spirit Breaker are both ganking bottom lane, that will give space to Burn the farm, and he's going to build himself up pretty quickly, but it's still a pretty low net worth at the moment.
Mid lane, they charge for all, Bounty Hunters coming in as well.
Oh, this will be a big kill here. They don't have reinforcements coming in quickly enough. Lion will try for it, but with that split, it's already a lost fight. And actually, catching out Invoker here. Might have to go for the Ghost Walk away. QQ lock, not even. They're going to dust him, and they're going to bring him down. So they actually get 2 kills instead of 1, and they're building up their experience pool very quickly. They're leading on net worth. They're leading on levels. IG just seem to be unable to respond in this laning stage.
Miscommunication coming out from IG because Chispa canceled his TP. I mean, he did TP right into the tier 1, so if he had TP, he probably would have died as well.
Radiant's top tower.
It looked like they didn't really communicate properly because after the TP was cancelled, Lua still went in, Faith also went in. It was kind of messy and get his stun on Chicken. Chicken is pretty tanky though. Chicken, pretty tanky. Yeah, they have to knock this in. Does it? Still alive.
Wow, that's pretty insane actually, but in the end he does go down, and you can only kite for so long. He's got that Blink Dagger up now though, so the death isn't the end of the world for him. We're gonna look for Enchantress to just kind of farm up her hand of Midas, it looks like. So he's got the treads, now looking for that Midas, and when she gets that, she's just gonna be able to start being very active while still building herself up. She's gonna get golden experience, but every 100 seconds or so, you're seeing her Midas take effect, and she will be progressing towards that level 16, which is really strong for a lot of EP's team, but particularly for her. Shadow Dance was used up towards the top lane there, the Slurk getting involved in things, but Fan, in the end, probably just wants to go back to farming. I don't think the Bounty Hunter is the hero that they intend to have last hitting for this part of the game.
He did get a kill on Burning, though. That was pretty huge. Ferrari is being charged. Yeah. They don't have any in this turn.
They does?
Actually, they do have dust.
Spearbreaker used it on Invoker earlier, now looking to use it on Ferrari. They just need one Satyr Blast to finish him off, but it's out of mana! And the Urn of Shadows is countered out by the bottle regen. Oh, the Enchantress creep, having already used all 6 Hadoukens, will not be able to finish the job, and that's an unfortunate thing, but they're still in a pretty good spot this game. I mean, Bounty Hunter just now hitting level 6, he's going to look to start tracking things up, and he's got plenty of mana to work with it.
IG in a very, very dire situation where both supports basically have to babysit somebody just to make sure that they don't die all around the map. And I think EP should utilize. Yeah, now Fan finally turns to his bottom lane, because this bottom lane has been basically been left alone.
Yeah, Tornado will counter out the charge. Flay will keep moving on, but not really do much more than track him up. And they're going to be kind of making a smoke play of their own into LaRoche, but it looks like they don't have it enraged just yet, though. So it's going to be just the kind of natural Fury swipes and them trying to actually tank this without lifesteal. That's a tough thing to do, but we'll see how it works out.
It's going to take them a while, but I guess this is sort of like desperation play, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Kind of have to go for it.
Dire's top tower is under
they also have Ferrari if they want to, but he can't really enter the... He does, oh my god, he does in Bounty Hunter, he did... Actually, he saw it, but he didn't actually go in.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they were able to catch sight of it. I mean, they had the vision, but that doesn't mean they necessarily know, and it looks like they're just going to let them have it and go for the play down bottom. Focus too much on killing off that Earthshaker. They don't prevent the Roshan. Cheesebug will fall, but the Aegis will go in the hands of Ferrari, and they are able to make it work just with the healing staff as well as the 3 heroes committed. Even without the lifesteal, Ursa takes it down. Now he has 1 point in that Enrage, 50-second cooldown, and a very valuable one at that.
Yeah, that was really good for IG. I mean, I think EP should have or could have known that. Quite unfortunate for them. They only get an Earthshaker out of it. He was tracked though, so I guess still okay for them.
Yeah, it's just a bit of tunnel vision, but I mean, they're still progressing so fast. Look at the Spirit Breaker. The Spirit Breaker was in the off lane and only has claimed 35 last hits. But thanks to assisting in 6 kills and getting 1 with a little bit of track on top, he is now topping net worth along with Slark at 4,500. He's got his Shadow Amulet already. Like, man, this guy is just going to be able to do so much work charging forward, but at least for now, Lil is stalking him with the Ghost Walk, and if the Ursa could find a way to just kind of casually stroll up to the Spirit Breaker, maybe they could find an opportunity with the Cold Snap.
But it doesn't really look like it. This just means that Lua is wasting. Go for it.
Yeah, they're going to be able to Fisher it, and then they can just kind of stand next to him with Cold Snap, or yeah, we're going to be seeing the Fierce Swipes come out. Will he enrage it? No, it's already been used, so it's just going to be an attempt to charge away, but the Tornado to interrupt, and he still gets the charge, but only onto a target in close proximity, and the last right click will still come through. So, close call, but in the end, it's a kill for them, and down bottom Ferrari seems fine. So,
he had an Earthshaker there, he would have survived. He had an Earthshaker, he could have earned himself, and would have survived.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate for him, and being a bit out of position. Like, they didn't really have vision on most heroes, and he probably should have seen that one come, especially since Burning wasn't farming. EP is still in a good position, as you pointed out. I mean, Spirit Breaker is still very farmed, Slark also very farmed. So, EP, even giving up this kill, they're in a good position, and if they find Duo here, could be...
Yeah, looking for an opportunity here, just stalking. And once again, they have the track. They're gonna probably not be able to dive this deep though with the Earthshaker right nearby. So Cheesebug pretty much being the bodyguard here, and it looks like they're not going to be able to connect with the charge. In fact, Spirit is just TPing top to get the farm, and Old Chicken still doing his old thing. He's going to be, he has a Blink Initiation, still has the split available, but they really aren't taking fights right now. Do you feel like there's some pressure to take the fights, or do they just wait out Ferrari's Aegis and consider engaging after that?
Yeah, I think you want to wait out the Aegis and then just pressure tier 1 bottom maybe or something along those lines. I think if you just pressure fights too much right now with the Fisher and the line, there's too much counter initiation from IG. So you have to be really careful.
Tracks flying out. The Shuriken Toss is at 3 right now, so not necessarily maxed out, but still doing a hefty sum of damage here. And if it bounces out to multiple targets, that's going to cause some real difficulties here. So we're going to see them kind of just hoping to bait Ferrari, but in the end, they've got, although they have some good sentry coverage, they can only hide in the trees for so long. And we do see Fam picking up a Blink Dagger too. So we have Charge Initiation, Pounce, Double Blink. Obviously, the Bounty Hunter can get where he wants to be, and now is scouting out Cheesebug. Oh, this is very important information for them. Knowing where both the Earthshaker and the Invoker are, they can choose to engage or disengage on their terms.
I like this play. He goes away just to reset his Invis and scout everything out.
Oh, Earthshaker will see him though. The charge coming through, they'll get the pounce, but a nice tornado. Dark Pact even better. Shadow Dance forced out, but the Echo Slam and the Breathe Fire onto 2. Now they stun out Brewmaster. He can't get the split. One Dragon Tail, and Burning takes him down so low, so fast that the Finger of Death will finish him off. Suddenly, 3-0. Suddenly, IG just come out swinging. They're able to do 1,200 damage with the Earthshaker's combo there, and that was so close. It could have been such a quick and easy pickoff against the Earthshaker, especially the way the Slurk uses Dark Pact there. But in the end, IG are unabashed there. They go in, they're unflappable, they get the kills, and they're feeling much more confident now, even though the Aegis will be timing out soon.
Yeah, it was a bit overzealous from EP. Yeah, sure, they could have gotten the Earthshaker there maybe, but they should have known that there was so much counter initiation potential from IG, even without the Earthshaker. I mean, Earthshaker did get the Fisher off, so it was a very overzealous attempt. Looks like they're gonna go against Faith here.
Yep, so we'll see right now. Fan being pursued after Faith goes down up top. They know it's safe to go on the Slark, but that Enrage... Is that for real? How fast does 780 damage come out from this Ursa? That's absolutely ridiculous. Like, what?
The Master finally jumps in with his first split, but they only find Cheesebug. They get Luo? Nah. If anything, they could track him, but that's about it. Oh, Burning is actually stuck on a cliff, but he has a blink. Oh, no. They didn't see him. If they had vision over there, they probably would have jumped.
So for this Ursa that only has phase boots and is level 9, he hit at max attack speed for 4 hits. The 4th hit doing 280 damage. He started hitting at 105 and he's doing triple damage after his 4th. That is insane. Just absolutely insane.
I mean, just watch out for the next Roche. It's gonna go down in like seconds. Probably even less, considering, like, depending on the time.
Don't ever let Ursa hit you, is the moral of this story. Like, what? I don't know, like, if you think about, like, heroes, like, there used to be a metagame that was going on when neither Ursa nor Lifesteal were very picked up, but Lifesteal got picked up to counter out a few specific magic damage dealers, and there were a few cores that also had a lot of stuns that they were afraid of. So Lifestealer started getting picked up, and then Ursa became the counter to that Lifestealer because of Furious Swarm. So Cheesebug gonna get caught before he can Echo Slam, but they will get the return damage onto the Spirit Breaker. And it looks like EP don't want to engage on top of that. The Enchantress doesn't really have much to contribute here. But going back to that point, there was the kind of mini meta game between Lifestealer and Ursa where he got picked to counter out the Lifestealer because he was so good at dealing physical damage. Like, how amazing would Ursa be against half the heroes in this game, let alone the ones that he counteracts? Like, anybody that's low armor, any strength carry, Ursa just swipes them down so damn fast. Get a BKB on this guy, and it just seems so crazy.
Yes, it does. I mean, EP did a good job at keeping him down by pressuring him a lot in the early game or in the laning stage. So his impact thus far hasn't really been that great up until like, I'll say 5 minutes ago. And he still doesn't really have that great of items. He's still working on it, so I think there's definitely ways to deal with him, but yeah, his damage output is insane. If you just give him the items and the time, he can just swipe you down, quite literally.
I mean, it's barely, like, I feel like even just naturally, at level 9 there, that's where we saw that big power spike where 3 points of overpower gives you all the bonus attacks you need, the Fury Swipes, and the Enrage level 1. I feel like that is suddenly all you need. Like, a Blink Dagger, obviously, to get there, but essentially, it doesn't matter how well you keep Ursa down, because he can still do some tremendous damage, no matter what items he has. They have to control him, they have to gank him, charge him, stun him, and we'll see that connect right now. The Nether Strike and the Bash, and Burning will go down. So he's pretty squishy, and he still currently doesn't have an answer to the Drunken Haze. But if that's not maxed out by the Brewmaster soon, I feel like EP are still going to get hit so hard that their heads will spin.
Yeah, but at the same time, now that his ult has been reworked, like going for strength items isn't really like it's not a necessity anymore. And if he does choose to go for a more like glass cannon build, it's still, I'm not gonna say easy, but it's still manageable to burst him down before he can put out all the. I mean, they do have the Bounty Hunter, they do have the Spirit Breaker, so if they want to burst him down, if they want to make sure that he's not really that big of a threat, I think they still can deal with it. Like, I mean, you just saw it, how quickly he melted a bit of impetus, and yeah, he's strong, yeah, he can deal a ton of damage, but I feel like EP, they've thus far done a good job at making sure if they want to deal with this Ursa, they can.
So, I'm actually kind of thinking about like what heroes are really good against Ursa now when he gets a BKB, and I gotta say that Shadow Demon seems to be a really good pick. Being able to kite him with the Demonic Purge and then later even mute his Fury Swipes could be really big, but Lei, yeah, getting caught out by the dust, there is going to be the Fissure to finish it off, and wow, Burning is just so scary. I really feel like you have to counterpick against Ursa or ban him. This hero is actually very meta relevant in my mind, and it takes until you actually see it with your own eyes to really realize it, but this hero is something that has to be feared in 6.84.
I like this buyback from Bounty. I think EP at this point have to realize that Roche is going to be an option, and quite frankly, I'm not sure if they should give away this Roche this easily. Because Ferrari and Burning are really strong in those teams. Especially Ferrari, he has a BKB right now. You don't want to give him a second life. Yeah, Lei is just gonna scout it out. Roche is not gonna be up for half a minute. Both teams are sitting here. Now this buyback seems a bit awkward.
Yeah, it just kind of forces a stalemate. Now, I'm actually looking at something here and theory crafting kind of on the fly, because I really did not expect to be this overwhelmed by what Ursa can do. But I'm realizing now that the Fury Swipes can be broken as a passive. The break mechanic instead of a mute mechanic, you can actually break Fury Swipes. So the sources of break, I was talking about that Shadow Demon ultimate with the Axe effect, but there's also one simple answer in the Silver Edge. If the Spirit Breaker gets the Silver Edge, he's able to prevent Fury Swipes from taking effect. So we're gonna see Spirit Breaker caught out, EMP, and yeah, pretty easy lockdown here. They Echo Slam it, but he's actually just gonna Shadow Blade away at the last bit. He doesn't have that much mana to burn, so the EMP isn't as powerful as it could be. And surprisingly, Spirit Breaker will survive, but fight will ensue still to pursue onto the Invoker, and Enchantress will Pokemon down. So
damage.
Yeah, really good, and it goes through BKB now, so there's not an easy counter there.
Duo going down, looks like IG don't want to force. Even though they have the Aegis, Duo is a really big part of their team fight, so what they're gonna do is just take a few stacks, take a few. I think as soon as Luo's back up, I think that's when IG is gonna probably want to push a top. Probably top or bottom lane. Sure to gain a bit more map control. They are like, they kind of want to make something out of it.
Yeah, just finding the good jump, getting the good kill. It is going to be the Aegis gone, but he still can at least blink out of a bad spot. Bounty Hunter going to get drained of all his mana, caught almost by some spells, but they actually cancel the Fissure through Invis, and now it's Ursa without detection, unable to actually connect onto Gondar. So really, it's kind of like an arms race of BKBs right now, as far as I can tell. Like right now, Spiritbreaker getting the BKB, Slark's on his way there, and Ursa's definitely going to need one this game because he is getting controlled pretty well now by things like the Brewmaster, getting cut out by Pounce Charge, that kind of stuff. He needs to be able to respond to situations a little bit better. So BKB should be coming out for Ursa soon. And then at that point, I look for Slark to go for either the Silver Edge I mentioned, or maybe just the Abyssal Blade to control Burning from there.
Shadow Blade coming out from Ferrari, and he finds Enchantress. Is this the hero they want to go for? Yeah. They could have gone for this Spiritbreaker, they were looking at it, but Enchantress just looked so delicious. Easy pickings, and it's a good pickup.
Yeah, very nice. Ferrari's...
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying that he's like really got a net worth, but what were you saying?
Yeah, as for the BKBs, yeah, sure, BKB is definitely a pickup, but at the same time, it's also one of these games where, I mean, BKB is not gonna be the ultimate answer, you know, because there's so much stuff that still goes through BKB. You have so much physical damage on EP side, so yeah, you kind of want a BKB, but at the same time, it's also pretty. It's not the best solution to have with BKB in this game. It's not like gonna magically solve all your problems, which I think is still a big of an issue because you spend 4k gold on an item and it still doesn't really prevent most stuff from happening, you know?
Well, I mean, until the Slark gets Abyssal Blade, the only thing you really have to worry about is Nether Strike and the damage, which you can try to mitigate at a specific timing interval with the Enrage, right? So if you use BKB and Enrage very carefully, I think the BKB will answer a lot now, and then obviously we'll look for the Bash or Abyssal type stuff from Pan later. But yeah, I mean, Spiritbreaker, obviously, if he hits with the Greater Bash, that's going to cause some problems. It's a little bit RNG dependent, but for now, it looks like they just want to keep hunting him and keep limiting his gold. They're going to, if they track him, be able to see that he has 3,300 gold banked up, and that is a lot of moolah towards that BKB.
I guess, yeah, Spiritbreaker is in the lane, so it would be too obvious if they did it.
Yeah,
it's quite unfortunate. Ran into the set. Actually, they're still charging because they have a very deep observer. Cancel the charge and...
Aghanim Scepter coming up soon for the Enchantress, and at that point, LT is going to be able to contribute a ton of damage with that increased attack range. Just being able to, at long range, Invictus out without a direct counter. She's going to be feeling like a big contributor. She already has a bonus of at least 60 attack speed with the Treads and Midas, and being able to just throw out Impetus after Impetus is a really big deal here. We'll have some mana issues perhaps, but overall she is actually starting to become a real damage dealer herself, and at that point I think they start to push in towards tier 2s. They have so much damage in these engagements that if they're able to kite Burning, they certainly can kill off everybody else, and that's going to be a key factor for winning the full engagements before Dragon Knight and Ursa get too farmed.
Dire's top
the BKBs are now up on EP side, and Burning is going to be jumped mid lane. Links away. His team is very close by.
Yeah, but still a good jump. Oh wow! Burning going to be able to just slay this Spiritbreaker with his ultimate. Now he will go down. But then Power at least gets some 1-for-1, and they kill off the Bounty Hunter on the southwestern side. Now Earthshaker gets thrown up in the air by the Brewmaster. Ferrari cannot chase down the Enchantress. They'll focus on the Slark and the Brew. But Slark, oh wow, she's actually going to be caught out. And now Luo getting hit hard. Fan pops his BKB, doing some good work. But the detection seems to be lacking, and the Dark Pact is insufficient. So Ferrari will TP away, and Luo will keep stalking. But in the end, I don't think he finds the kill, even with the Orchid. It's just not one that he can go for. He'll still try. Maybe the Courier could be sniped, but that's almost a bait in of itself. Lua takes it, and he will just haste himself away with the Wex in the face. Hold Chicken with a jump with the Tornado in 4 seconds time. Not fast enough.
Yeah, it definitely felt like the Courier was a bait. The way they were running around him did feel like a bait. They did get Lua as well, and overall a great teamfight for EP. It started out great, honestly, because Burning, I mean, as he's pointed out, like, despite him being jumped by 2 heroes, he was still able to just melt down that Spiritbreaker. Overall, they just didn't really have an answer for the Slark. At the same time, nobody was really focusing the Slark. Enchantress also dealing quite a lot of damage. IG, it feels like should probably prioritize better. like they focused the Bounty Hunter, they focused the Spirit Breaker. Sure, that was great, but Slark remained untouched throughout the whole.
Yeah, definitely. And when he was actually able to unveil that 10-second BKB, he was just a monster, building up 48 stolen agility with the Essence Shift. So he's able to do a lot of work that fight, and he's going to have an even more effective Shadow Dance next time around with the movement speed and healing it provides. So level 16 for him pretty soon. But it's not all bad. BKB does come out for Burning finally, so he's going to be able to do a lot more in these fights here. Has to worry about the Spirit Breaker Bash, the Nether Strike, and any damage coming in from all sources. He really doesn't stop any of the damage, but with the Enrage, he should at least be able to get 1 kill, if not 2 or 3, in the fights as he builds momentum.
It's like IG want to pressure this top, but EP.
Dire's bottom tower is under
EP
attack.
and everybody, and they immediately charge as well.
Nice combo there, just bursting down Burning. He pops the Enrage though, even with just a minimal amount of life steal. They have to run, they have to kite. They do kill him off though, and Faith is next on the menu, gets bashed down. They go for some interesting Tornado and Fissure Blade to try to control them. They might get the Bounty Hunter on the backside. Ferrari, yeah, he'll clean him up with the Silver Edge, but still Luo is caught out. He is going to be locked down, and that is just a really good trade for EP. Triple kill comes out for the Enchantress, and Burning just every single time gets initiated on without a good enough response.
Yeah, and they try to bait him, but at the same time, it's kind of futile to bait him considering those people that jump in, they all have weaknesses. So Luo, not Luo, but Chizbug and Faith sitting in the jungle or sitting in the trees actually don't do anything because they can't counter-initiate because, well, none of their spells go through the beacon. I feel like AG have to revise the game plan. Yeah, Chizbug gets something.
Finding a nice kill here. Ferrari going to go in melee range of the Enchantress, so she can't do the damage, but with Fan popping the Shadow Dance, Ferrari has nobody to kill. Burning on the back line, closing on the Spirit Breaker, but he Shadow Blades and he just walks away. Ferrari now caught by the pounce. He'll go down under his tower, and Burning has no choice but to disengage. Just going on the run here. Burning does get the Geometry Sight now, face to face with the Slark, and it's not going to be enough. He BKBs, he tries to clap, but it doesn't matter in the end. EP have run him down, and they are losing everything here. Now coming in, Luo has a Tornado Deafening Blast, but this is just to keep them off the tower and try to buy time for the Earthshaker to respawn with that Blink Echo. It's there. It looks like they're going for the high ground here. This could be good. Tornado play, EMP, and Echo Slam would really lock down the side of EP, and Fan is taking it. He's going in. This is going to be an opportunity here. No, he bounces out, and Cheesebug can't close in to get the stun combo he needs. Oh, EP, just walk away from that. Heads held high, taken down, Burning multiple times over. He's died 7 times this game. As strong as he may be on the offensive, if he can't stay on his target, he is just going to be shredded. And as we could see in that last fight, he only gets 1 Enrage cooldown a fight mostly, and wasting it early, he goes down to the Slark.
And if you're IG, you have to feel very demotivated, considering that EP can just dive your tier 4 or dive your tier 3 and still kill you. My god, IG practically lost everything, and pretty much everyone died, and they even lost the courier, they lost the gem. Nothing is going their way, and I mean they did keep their tier 3 tower and such, but they're not in a good position right now. This Enchantress is doing so much work in these. Oh my god, he's dealing so much damage with Invictus, and the positioning from everyone on EP's side is honestly so good because they never really get caught out that much. If somebody does get caught out, they make sure that's damn worth it by just picking off everyone on EP's side. Like, you mentioned how Burning was going to jump the Spirit Breaker, but like, he just walked away, Invictus, so that's it.
Yeah. So, all of this... all these issues with the Ursa here bring to mind a possible solution strategically, not in this game, but in a draft in general. What do you think about bringing back the Ursa Wisp? With the mobility of the tether, the overcharge to keep him alive better. We're going to see a fight, so we can get back to that later, but good triple stun coming out, and during that, they just slam him down, and the Spirit Breaker's dead, Bounty Hunter gone, and the BKB only allows the Brew to split. tossing off the Invoker so that Fan and LT can go to work on Ferrari. Ferrari does stay close to the Enchantress, is able to bring her down without being impetus too hard, but now Fan with the BKB. He expires everything, popping all the cooldowns to try to bring down Ferrari, but he can't get away. They keep the damage on him so he can't blink, and now they block the pounce to the high ground. Fan, unable to disengage, will be wiped out. It's only the Brewmaster to survive. Old Chicken walking away. What a great control of the Slark this time, and it really just comes down to whether Burning gets the damage in or Slark. If either one gets DPS time in, the other team gets wiped out, but in this case, they brought really good control against the Slark. Burning got the free hit on his target of choice, and they are able to take the fight. Not only that, but the Roshan, the Aegis, and the Cheese.
This fight, honestly, Chisbug MVP. Like, he positioned himself really well, and with those 2 sentries down, he just immediately jumped down, fishered, I believe, 3 people, then followed it up with another 2-man Fisher, Earthspike. It was just beautiful play from 2 supports, and quite frankly, yeah, you're right. If Burning just gets his way and can just punch people, he just melts on everybody. And that was a beautiful fight from IG, and just definitely pulled them back into the game. They needed this desperately, and just to come back to what you were saying, yeah, I think with Wisp it would be much better, but at the same time, Wisp doesn't really offer any lockdown, so it's difficult to say how the Wisp would do in this sort of scenario, or if it would be better or not, but in general, definitely adds to it.
Oh, LT kind of caught out here. One good impetus takes out almost half of Faith HP, but he's going to lose his BKB pretty quickly here. Still 4 Furious Swipes against him. Ursa needs to disengage and wait for that Drunken Haze to expire, but the impetus just keeps following through. That Agatham Scepter on the Enchantress brings Burning down, and now we see the charge forward. Big jump to bring down Lion instantly, and Luo is locked down too. No, he invises out with the Ghost Walk, and Burning, Ferrari all brawling on the front line with the heavy hitters of EP. Ferrari's the one to go down first. No, he eats the cheese at the last second, and the Enchantress is now out of mana. No more impetus from her. She gets deafened. She has to retreat, but they go for the track. They go for the follow-through. Nether Strike trying to find the target. It's going to be Ferrari. Locked back while they throw the Ursa up in the air. Bears can fly this time around. We're going to see the impetus strike still doing some damage, but in the end, they focus the supports. This is the right call. Bringing Cheesebug down fast and leaving Ursa for last. He's hit up by so much Drunken Haze that he can barely hit his target, and in the end he gets crit down. What a fight from EP. They started it strong, they weathered the storm of the Aegis and the Cheese, and they're able to sock it to IG once more. What a back and forth game.
Pretty much, like, this is pretty much the repetition of the last fight, except this time around was EP that got the view. It feels like whichever team gets the better whichever team gets the initiation off just wins the team fight, because EP, they just made sure that they locked down those 2 supports. Like, the Spirit Break immediately charged to the back line of the fight instead of going to the front line. He just knew that he had to just make sure that, I believe he had first targeted Lua and then went for the Earthshaker again, so EP with good positioning. This Enchantress, really, the amount of damage she deals and the amount of damage she can actually tank as well is quite impressive.
Okay. Now we're in a position where EP are starting to take the map in full. I mean, they've already pressured all the tier 2s. The bottom one is the only one left standing at like a third of its HP. And just right now, IG, they have to be worried that the next fight that goes against them would be breaking down their racks, and with that, be very close to losing the game. But we'll see right now. Luo with a Maelstrom, a bit of a DPS build coming from him, is just going to be empowering Burning with his attack speed. And Burning will have the Alacrity buff, will be hitting that much faster, and we'll see how high those free swipe stacks can get.
I like this DPS. I feel like the Slark, if he doesn't really get focused too much, like if he doesn't get locked down immediately, it's just, you know, his HP region is insane if he just goes in and out of the fight. So I like this DPS build, although I think going for something utility wise, just going for, I don't know, going for nags or going for or something like, so, you know, it's also personal preference.
Yeah. So an interesting movement from Fan there. He's getting his items off the courier, but he also wants mana. So what he does is he gets a Scotty, he pops an Enchanted Mango that he just bought 36 minutes into the game, then pops a Clarity that in the same inventory slot, and then picks up the TP scroll in that slot. So he uses one slot to get himself like 400 mana, and then just keeps on going about his thing. So Mango, the battle restoration for Slark in this case.
Speaking of which, we haven't really seen too many Mangos.
Yeah.
I'm actually quite surprised about it, because I feel like Mango and the laning state where it strives, you know? And
depends on the hero, really. A Clarity will do for a lot of situations. A lot of heroes can just, like even Bounty Hunter can Shadow Walk with the Clarity on and be fine. Faith gonna be caught out, just trying to D-ward. Pretty standard support situation to be caught out, just trying to get a little bit of map control back at the worst possible time.
I love this from EP. They knew that there was a ward because they had the Slark just got it out, and what they did, they just smoked behind the ward and just went through the ward. This gave IG just a false sense of security. And with this EP, they feel comfortable now pushing high road, I suppose. Because they did just take down the support. They are outnumbering, even if it's just for another 30 seconds. Punching.
Yeah, I mean, they've got Silver Edge up on the Dragon Knight along with his 6-second BKB and crit, so he's building up pretty decent here. He's actually the top of the net worth for the team by far, but we're going to see initiation up top here, trying to bring down Burning. They connect with the charge bash, and they're actually going to be able to Nether Strike him back, bashing him again. Burning locked down the entire time, doesn't even get to use his ultimate, but now he buys back. Big Bear is mad. He's going to look to crit on some people, but in the meantime, the Dragon Knight gets eviscerated. What seems so tanky of a hero is destroyed because of the pure damage. It ignores the Dragon's blood completely. Now here, it's going to be the Ursa without a BKB tornadoed in his own fountain. He can't get to the fight. Now he's TPing in. Faith, though, already gone. And Cheesebug needs a tremendous Echo Slam here, but he misses everyone with the blink on cooldown. He can't get it off. The Fisher misses too. They have no control of this fight, and Burning is taking massive damage. He'll go down, and that might just be the game here. Buying back and dying back on the Ursa while massive damage comes to the team. Burning calls it here. A very frustrating game for him. Playing on a new hero in a new patch, but up against the lineup that deals with it so well with their control. Good game, well played. EP pull a massive upset and 2-0 IG in 6.84.
Honestly, it feels like IG haven't done their homework whatsoever concerning this patch, and EP, they can fully prepare. They're just like, hey guys, we've been studying this patch for the past 3 days. That's at least what it felt like. And they brought out all these heroes that, in theory, made total sense, and they just made it work. They have a really well-run lineup.